Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys are picking up Micah Parsons' fifth-year option as he will be designated as a defensive end, not a linebacker. Saves the Cowboys. After Schultz, the Texans are giving kicker Kaimi Fairbairn a 3-year, $15.9 million deal. And according to ESPN's DJ Bieniemy, the Baltimore Ravens free agent linebacker Patrick Queen, potential target of the Texans.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up,
Oh, welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, however you may be listening, whether that is terrestrial radio at 94.1 FM or online at sasportsstar.com. There is also, of course, the Dugout. Everybody's got a fancy little nickname for their YouTube chat. I'm going to call mine the Dugout, seeing as this is Extra Innings with Pledge. Of course, on YouTube at SA Sports Star. In the Dugout already, we got Rob Robert Caceres Jr. and Jacob Eric already into the show. Fred actually wondering if the Houston Texans should sign Barkley. I'm going to get into it a little bit later in the show. I would like him, but I would like him at a price point. And it's going to be very interesting to see, especially with the amount of good running backs that are on the market, what that does to the market. A depressed market already, now with an influx of talent and names, does that push the market price on them down even further than it would normally be? And I saw rumors that Joe Mixon may even get released before the beginning of the league year. So adding yet another prominent running back name and production to the open market. What does that do to the actual cost of them? Something tells me it depresses it, but we'll see once free agency opens here in about a week and a day. We're not far away. But one of the big things that happened was the San Antonio Spurs could not make it 3 straight. They fell to the Houston Rockets last night, 114-101, and Alperen Sengun goes off for a career-high 45 points in the Rocket win, Spurs loss, however you want to look at it. And as you just heard on the Blitz, Pop was not happy about it.
That's what you call a royal ass whooping right there. They deserve a lot of credit. They were physical from the get-go till the end of the game. And they came after it that way. They played that way. It put us in mud. We didn't respond to it very well, and you got the outcomes. Young group needs to understand the road is a lot different than at home. It requires a little bit more mental toughness. So we'll move on and try to play better at SAC.
Now, didn't they just come off a 9-game rodeo road trip? You'd think they'd know the difference between playing home and road. Other than that, this team, is it learning? Is it taking steps back? Was it an injury to Wemby that limited his production as he had one of the worst nights offensively of his career? His worst defensive night might have been against Joel Embiid, who was the odds-on favorite to win the MVP when he eventually got hurt, which will negate him from that. But everybody's talking about, because the clip's been on YouTube, It has been on Instagram. It has been on X. It has been everywhere you can possibly find it, even Facebook, if you were lucky enough to be able to log in. Alperen Şengün shoulder into Wemby's chest, backs him down, puts him under the rim, and dunks it on him. And everybody sees career high 45 points. And that one highlight and go, well, Wemby got owned. Did he? Because Wemby only played 31 minutes. Segun played 38. So there was an amount of time that he wasn't there, and their minutes didn't exactly match one another. While Segun had a good night, he only went 9 of 17 against Wemby, while Segun went 11 of 15 against the rest of the Spurs that matched up against him. Oh, by the way, Wemby also had 5 blocks on Alperen Şengün, who said, he's just tall.
He's so tall, really. He's really tall, but he's not that strong yet, So I was going his chest and put him under the rim. So, like I said, they didn't double me tonight that much, so I work and under the rim.
Yeah, he had a great game. Notice the key thing he said there, though. They didn't help. Nobody helped. So while people went 9 of 17 against Wemby and 11 of 15 against everyone else on the Spurs, Wemby's the one getting criticized despite holding him to 9 of 17 and getting 5 blocks on him on top of that, as he finished with 7 on the night. Remember what Jeremy Sohan said Sunday night after that win against the Pacers? If not, I got it for you.
I think just, understanding who we have on the court, different personnel we have, communication, that's number one for me and I think for everyone else on the team. But, just understanding who we have. When Vic's in, he's a guy who we want him to help. And everyone else just, kind of stay back because it's Vic, you know what I mean? And then
everyone else stay back. We want Vic to help us. So Wemby has to be the magic eraser for the rest of this pitiful defense, yet you won't help him in the slightest. And perhaps that's on coaching. Perhaps that's on Pop for not adjusting and saying that maybe he needed just a smidgen of help. Same thing happened earlier this year against the 76ers with Joel Embiid. Left Wemby on an island because he is so good defensively. How good defensively? Well, you already know what I think. I think despite him being a rookie, he should not only be in the conversation, you blind look at his numbers, he is the defensive player of the year. And Hembo found a stat for Legler this morning on Get Up that further shines a light on the greatness defensively that Victor Wembanyama is having on the San Antonio Spurs.
Do you know when Victor Wembanyama's on the court, there's a 13-win team. When he's on the court for the Spurs, that's the 6th-rated defensive team in the league. When he's off the floor, they're dead last. That is the impact that Victor Wembanyama has had on that end.
When he is on the floor, they are 6th in the NBA. 6th. When he is off, they are dead last, which leads to their 24th ranked defensive rating. Wemby is 2nd in defensive efficiency behind only Rudy Gobert and leads Rudy Gobert in every other defensive metric. The difference is Rudy Gobert plays with Karl Anthony Towns, who is tied with Wemby for 2nd in that defensive efficiency rating, and Anthony Edwards, who is one of the best perimeter players in the league. Wemby doesn't get any of that help. And yes, Joshua Jimenez, Defensive Player of the Year, shouldn't need help. Yes, they should, because you aren't a one-man show. Help does come from time to time. But you can't be legitimately all alone and expect the entirety of the defense to be better, which is something that, by this metric,
Do you know when Victor Wembanyama's on the court, there's a 13-win team. When he's on the court for the Spurs, that's the 6th-rated defensive team in the league. When he's off the floor, they're dead last.
By that metric, Wemby is literally lifting the entire Spurs' horrible defensive roster and placing it on his back. Yeah, he shouldn't need help. He apparently doesn't. But you do from time to time. You just do. Fred Robert Casares Jr. in our bullpen says Segun won't even score 30 points against the Lakers or any other team. Probably not. Like, it was a career night for him. And he's had good games. I believe he scored 30 before. I like Alperen Sengun. I liked him as a possible Spur, if you remember that draft year, instead of Josh Primo. But if Alperen Sengun is here, likely Wemby is not, because he is a better player. And he's been in the league longer, so he is physically stronger. Alperen Sengun didn't come into the league as strong as he is either. And what do we hear about Wemby from everybody that's interviewed him, from Jamal Crawford after the game? Went to interview him. Had to go into the weight room. He is already in there working. All he does is go and work out. He is working on getting stronger. That is legitimately something that he cannot fix overnight. This will take a year or two to transform an entire physical stature. It's going to be slow, and it's going to take time. This isn't something he can fix by putting up some threes after practice. He has to do it again and again and again and again, and his body will physically then start to grow. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger. Shout out to everybody. If you want to be a part of the show, you can always call in 210-656-3776, 656 ESPN. Lloyd D, bullpen, dugout. Hey, bullpen, dugout. I kind of like the bullpen. It's also got a Texans feel to it, as was pointed out earlier by Fred Real and the bullpen. I'm going to call it the bullpen. I reserve the right to change my mind, and I've changed my mind upon finding better information. So, appreciate that. Fred Records, welcome in. Look, coming up next, we're going to have on the Buyers Barricades guest line, co-host of The Blitz, Joe Reinigle, join me, who obviously has a very different thought process when it comes to Victor Wembanyama and his chase for the Defensive Player of the Year. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle. Hey, it's time to talk some baseball. Justin Verlander won't be on the Stros when the season begins. We're going to look at where they're headed, and can the Rangers repeat?
Plus, the San Antonio Spurs are chasing down NBA history tonight. What's at stake? We have the answer starting at 6 a.m.
At GiveMeTheVin.com, we pride ourselves in being America's best car buyer, bringing top dollar for your car with an online process that's fast and easy. But you might not know that we've got a special interest in buying your truck. Luxury haulers, workhorse diesels, or just your favorite pickup truck, we specialize in putting the right money on your truck for longer than anybody. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com today and get your check on the spot from America's best car and truck buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Minimum purchase required. Interest accrues from date of purchase but is waived if paid within promotional period. Go to windowappointmentnow.com for full offer details.
Dan, this house is freezing. It's got to be these old windows.
The windows are fine.
It's time to text renewal by Anderson. Otherwise, I'm cranking up the thermostat.
No, our heating bill is huge.
Exactly. We need new windows.
You think so?
Our windows are over 10 years old. They're letting out the warm air and wasting money.
You're saying we could actually save money and the house would be warmer if we replaced our old windows?
Text now, we can save hundreds of dollars.
I'm texting Renewal by Anderson.
Text outside to 200-300 right now and schedule your free consultation with Renewal by Anderson online today. Plus, text now during the 31-day March sales event and get $377 off every window and $777 off every door when you buy 4 or more units. Text outside to 200-300 for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a full year with Renewal by Anderson. Text the word outside to 200-300. Outside to 200-300.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details. Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Anderson, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Risa, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
We're in the studio right now with Jose from the Gomez Law Firm. Online client reviews and testimonials are incredibly important. Joe Gomez Law is the leader when it comes to 5-star reviews.
We encourage people to go online and look at our reviews. You know, there's a lot of attorneys that might not want you to do that, but we encourage you to do that because we want to make sure that you feel comfortable choosing the right attorney. And we assure you, you go to Google and look up our reviews, you're going to be satisfied. I mean, we have almost 1,000 reviews and we're very highly rated.
If anyone from San Antonio or even anyone from Texas is looking for a trusted attorney, the Gomez Law Firm is for you.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure. I correct myself. It was Mark Chavez, I believe, who had the bullpen comment, which in Extra Innings very important, as Fred Villarreal points out. There's a fight going on in the bullpen on what we should call it, the bullpen or the dugout, because Fred Robert Caceres Jr. likes the dugout. I kind of like the bullpen. The baseball aspect and the Texans aspect of it work very well within this. I like it. Thank you all for listening. However y'all may be listening, whether that is on sasportstar.com where you can comment along, or whether you're calling in like Dean did. Dean, what's going on? Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure.
I appreciate it, bud. I recently moved to San Antonio. We love it. We live the hill. We love the hill country, and but I'm a Houston native, so I still pull for my Houston team. I watched the game last night, and I don't know what Pop's doing to Wemby, but that's not what you should do to teach him a lesson. Segun's 20 years old, but he played in a Turkish league for like 3 years, just probably like Wemby did over there in France. But that's different body types. Man, the guy could be an amazing defender off ball. He cannot handle, and Segun's not a grown man. The guy from Philly is, the guy from Denver is.
Yeah.
Segun will be, but he's not yet. He's not. Now, he's a skilled player, and I love him, but why does Pop let him isolate and continue to just get his butt kicked? Like, is he teaching him a lesson? I don't know. I haven't watched enough Spurs games, but I'm like, who does this? I don't get it. That's what I'm saying.
I appreciate the phone call, Dean, and I'm with you. I don't know if it's teaching him a lesson or if it's how great Wemby is that even when he needs help, they don't think he needs help, but it is definitely interesting to see how they handle it, because if you remember Jeremy Sohan's comments from just Sunday against the Pacers, he's bleeping Vic. We don't help him. He helps us, but we have to learn to help when Zach is in. And that was something that they had an issue with earlier in the year.
If I'm still on, now,
of
course, being a Houston fan, I would take Wemby as I wanted that draft pick.
Absolutely.
The unicorn. I mean, I would take that in a heartbeat. Amen Thompson might be a very good player. I'm not hating on him against the guy that's 7'4" that can handle. But what's Pop doing? That's the first game I watched with the Spurs, and I'm like, okay, let's play him again, because I don't get it.
I appreciate
that's
the
where
phone
I'm out.
Call,
Look, he's a great player. I wanted him, but I don't get it. I'm out. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Dean. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's right. What's Pop doing? I have questions myself, and that's why I'm going to one of the guys that I love so much here at the station, one Joe Ryan-Eagle, who's joining me on the Buyers Barricades guest line. And Joe, we have our differences. We have our fights. We both like watching each other's heads explode over certain things. Yours being Sean Payton and Dalton Schultz. Mine being Victor Wembanyama and the Defensive Player of the Year, and whether he can win it because he's a rookie or not. But that is a great point by Dean in terms of what's Pop doing, because we've seen him do this with Joel Embiid earlier in the season, where there is legitimately no help for him at all, and he is just expected to be great, even though he is being great, even on nights where he could possibly use some help.
You know, that is a great point. I heard that phone call, and he brings up a good point there. I think the difference even between Embiid and Segun last night, Segun made a point to just physically beat on Wemby. And even though Wemby, I think, held his own for the most part, obviously the blocks you can point to, it really affected him on the offensive side, and it affected him getting in foul trouble. So all of those things, I think it was a brilliant game plan by Ime Udoka. I really do. And you got to have a guy like Segun who's used to that physical play, where Wemby's not, quite frankly. I think he will, and that's one of the things he's learning in the NBA. But I'm with you. I think if you've got a guy like that and you see your guy, your horse, your number one dude getting beat up by an opponent, you got to help him out a little bit. And I'm not sure, and watching the game last night, I didn't even really think about that. But Dean makes a great point when he brings up the help and what was Pop thinking. And I don't think it's to punish him necessarily, but maybe just thinking that he would get it and play back.
It's always a dangerous thing to try and get in the mind of one Greg Popovich. As you heard the stat earlier today from Hembo, 6th when Wemby's on the court, last when he's not on the court. That is the effect that he provides to this team. Do you think they've become, in a sense, too reliant on Victor Wembanyama?
I think it's hard not to become too reliant on this guy just from the things that he can do and how he plays ball. I mean, and I think, when you listen to Jeremy Sohan and the soundbite you played earlier, I think even the players are getting to the point where they're relying on this guy and they're wanting him to do special things. The most interesting thing about that stat from Legler today, or the soundbite, is the fact that I didn't realize the Spurs were that bad. Everybody else defensively. My gosh, that is just horrible. But Wemby brings that, obviously. He brings the blocks. He clogs the lane. Guys are not going to want to challenge him. All of those kind of things have a great effect on defense when he's in the ball game. And so it just baffles me, though, Pledge, how bad this team is.
And his ability to close out on the perimeter, too. Like, his size plus athleticism, like, you're not safe inside or out from him.
Well, and just that length. I mean, the length that he has causes all kinds of problems for anybody. I mean, he's 7'4", but he raised that arm. He's 12 feet. I mean, it's incredible the length that he has. It's going to make it difficult whether you're a shooter, whether you're inside trying to get a layup or do anything for that matter. So, I mean, that is just a great weapon. His body, the length of it is just a great weapon, to have, and he uses it very well. But I think what we did see last night, and I'm really surprised, and I mentioned this on the show earlier, but I'm really surprised that teams have not tried to physical him up more as Houston did last night. And granted, Ime Udoka's got a guy that can do that and is used to doing it, but I'm really surprised because I think Wemby, with all his accolades and all the stuff that we give him credit for, he still needs that bulk a little bit, I think, and to realize and I don't even want to say toughness because it's not that. I think he needs to bulk up. And look, he has. Since he came to San Antonio, he has put on some bulk. And I think this offseason, you're going to see more of that, and where it's going to come to a point where a guy like Alperen Sengun is not going to be able to affect Wemby the way he was able to affect him last night.
And it's fine. He will eventually, because physically we all do, but it's not something that we can ask him to do between now and tomorrow night's game in Sacramento.
Right.
That is something that is just going to take time.
Sacramento's, they don't have the players like a Sengun that is able to do that. We saw that the first time that they got together, and Wemby played well. So, I think first of all, you got to have that type of player to be able to say, anybody can say, we want to be physical with Wemby, but then having a player that can get it done is another thing. Houston had that player that can get it done. Now, I think there are some others, and maybe other teams will watch that tape and say, hey, we need to attack this guy this way. But I think Wemby's going to learn from that. I think if there's anything going through his learning process, that is one thing that I think Pop can seriously sit down with him and then watch that film and say, look, if they attack you like this, try this, do this, be here. Whatever the case, I think that was a great learning experience for Wemby. the rest of the team, Pledge, I'm not sure who's going to be here next year and who's not. And so I don't get too involved in what they're doing. Although that did shock me that they're that bad defensively. I knew they were bad, but I had no clue they were that bad.
I mean, at this point, though, who do you want back? Like, I understand there's an argument to be made for Devin Vassell, but at the same time, I'm finding it very difficult to not just have a massive turnover in terms of the entirety of this roster.
It'd be nice if you could do that. I just don't think that's realistic or possible.
That's fair.
I do like Vassell, and I think his best days are ahead of him. I really do, and I think he's starting to learn how to play with Wemby. Jeremy Sohan's supposed to be this defensive guy, but you listen to the stats that we just heard when Wemby's not on the floor. Jeremy's obviously not getting it done. So I think you need shooters and you need somebody that can help Wemby play defense. I mean, I think that's got to be the priority. And if you could can you imagine Wemby with a guy like Bruce Bowen by his side, helping him play defense? This team, I don't know if anybody score 100 points on them. And then to have some shooters that around that can score. But I don't think it's going to be that long or that big of a fix, honestly, because I think Wemby is going to be twice as good next year as he is this year. Just knowing the landscape and knowing what he's doing. And I think this team, with some tweaks and some players added, they're going to be so much better next year.
And lastly, Joe Reinigle, I know your favorite former Dallas Cowboy spoke on the Pat McAfee show earlier today, and y'all were talking about it on the Blitz. What were your takeaways from Dalton Schultz's comments about the differences between the Cowboys and the Texans?
Well, I mean, I think it's I'm not sure exactly why he chose to go in and trash the Cowboys and what they're doing, but he did. And he was asked a question to his defense. But look, I mean, I just don't see what good that does. Dalton Schultz was good for the Cowboys, as much as I like to get on him and how he can't block and all that stuff. And he's now good for the Houston Texans. And I think he will be a good player for them for the next 3 years. Look, Dallas is a show. I mean, everybody knows it. If you go play in Dallas, you're going to have to put up with the circus. And that's what it is. And to complain about it, I think just makes Schultz look, what's the, I still don't understand the point of it.
Is it a complaint though, or is it just him pointing out differences?
Well, when you start comparing,
I didn't hear him complain. I just heard him say, this is the difference.
Well, when you start saying how much better Houston is, what a well-oiled machine, this is great. And then, it implies, or at least it did to me, that Dallas sucks and it's not a very good place.
Especially when you call it a zoo.
Yeah, you call it and all of that stuff. And I think I just don't see the point of it. I'm not sure what it gets Schultz to do that, but I just, going to Dallas, you got to know it's a circus, and you either deal with it or you don't. And some guys can do it, some guys can't. Obviously, Schultz didn't like it, although they offered him a contract. He turned it down, chose to play on the tag, and then got out of there. So, it is what it is, and it's not going to change. Not as long as Jerry Jones is alive.
That is 100% true. He is Joe Reinigle. Catch him every weekday on the Blitz with Jason Minix from 2 to 6 as they get you going. Joe, thanks for the time, man.
Always fun, Pledge.
Have a good one, my brother. That is Joe Reinigle joining us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. All guests appear via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. They're online at buyersbarricades.com. Speaking of Schultz's comments, we'll play him for you next and react to what he had to say about what his time was like in Dallas and how different it is from Houston and the rest of the league. That's coming up next. Plus your phone calls. What do you want to talk about? Do you have an issue with what Schultz said? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Omaha Steaks semi-annual sale is here. Get 50% off site-wide and save on mouth-watering favorites today. Go to omahasteaks.com and shop the semi-annual sale, where you can load up on all the delicious flavor you crave at half the price. And when you use promo code SIZZLE at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. Save big on delicious, tender, juicy steaks, big, beefy burgers, and so much more. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code SIZZLE at checkout. Minimum purchase may apply.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has 2 great locations, Keebner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it. If they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-785-9545. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-785-9545 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-785-9545 to see if you qualify. That's 800-785-9545.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% when you buy 10 or more select primed finger joint boards. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us for the materials you need. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-384-1340. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call. 384-1340. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-384-1340.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
This is the home of the Aggies, and this is Andrew Monaco. You're locked on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. All y'all in the bullpen, appreciate y'all riding along with me, whether that's on sasportstar.com where you can comment along with the show, or if you're listening to 94.1 or sasportstar.com, feel free to call into the show, 210-656-ESPN. That is 210-656-3776. And Dalton Schultz, former Dallas Cowboy, Houston Texan, just signed a 3-year, $36 million extension, pays him as the 12th highest paid tight end in the NFL at $12 million a year. He was on McAfee, and they were talking about C.J. Stroud, Bobby Slowick playing for Houston, but then he was like, you played in Dallas, which everybody talks about the bright lights and everything that goes on and what the inside is like. What was the difference after your year in Houston and your 5 years in Dallas?
That was one of the first things that kind of stuck out to me. It feels like much more, I don't want to say college because it's not, but like the focus is just football, you know what I mean? And going back and like telling some people how kind of being around the Cowboys practice facility and game day, describing some of the interactions and stuff that you see on a day-to-day basis, surprised a lot of people. They're like, holy crap, like that actually happens like at a practice facility. And, it's just, you think it's normal. And then you come to a place like this.
What? And McAfee immediately wanted to know, like what? Like what? What do you mean that makes it like, holy crap, that happens here?
No, dude, it's just like there's people literally going on tours while you're listening in the weight room, and they've got like a one-way mirror for people to like look at. Like it's a zoo, dude. There's people tapping on the glass, like trying to get people's attention as they're doing, power cleans or whatnot. And it's different. And I mean, that's the brand that they've built. That's what Jerry Jones likes. That's the way that they run things. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you don't realize like how many eyeballs and how much that can maybe distract from, stuff just in the locker room, being in the facility, until you go somewhere else and you're like, holy crap, like, dude, there's none of that. This is also a really well-run organization in Houston.
And that's the more so than the tours and the tapping on the glass. You heard him mention it there, the distraction that it can provide a locker room. Jay Glenn on our YouTube live, jumping in the bullpen, says Cowboys are a traveling circus. We've known that, but there are positive aspects to that for players as well, because being the traveling circus and always in the media that they are, the media is very fond of bringing Dallas Cowboys in, whether it is Marcus Spears or, name ESPN analysts that spent time with the Dallas Cowboys, Michael Irvin, Jason Witten got a chance to step off the field and immediately into a booth. Like, it has its positives just like it has its negatives, but the negatives are the thing that distraction in the locker room, which I heard there, how it can do things like that. That feels like so much more. He went on to talk about some of the things that Houston has that Dallas might not.
I think that was one of the things that kind of scared me about like leaving Dallas the most, is I wasn't sure what another organization would feel like. And dude, I got here and it was like, this place is a well-oiled machine. Coaching staff, the coaching changes, I can't speak to the previous stuff, but the strength staff is phenomenal. The training staff is unbelievable. This has been the most trainers that I've ever seen on a staff, and they take really amazing care of the players. The nutrition staff is phenomenal. The chefs, they came in and they poached like 5 of the best chefs in the Houston area, and they paid them a bunch more, and they're like, come hang out and cook for us.
Smart.
And so it's like everything that they kind of do is really top notch, and not being sure organization kind of be run leaving Dallas, I was so happy and like
No,
surprised.
everything you're saying is wrong. Remember, Houston was a dumpster fire.
Oh, yeah. McAfee, the former Colt, not happy hearing how well the organization has run from the inside after the 2 years plus, if you go all the way back through Bill O'Brien's tenure. But what say you? 656 ESPN 656 3776. Wookie dialed in. Wookie, welcome into Extra Innings with Pledge, my man.
Well, I appreciate it, Pledge. Right now, I feel like I'm listening to an interview with that ungrateful kid at Christmas. Because, I mean, it's like, come on, man, like Yankees, Cowboys, Lakers. We already know what kind of bleep show it is. And, going into it, you should be, first of all, just be thankful that you're in there in the NFL. And, Schultz, I like Schultz up into this point, but you sound so ungrateful. You only played 8 games last year. You didn't really set any, new record highs for yourself. And everything that has earned you that paycheck was in Dallas, was in that system, and that made you the ball player that, quote unquote, you are. So it's kind of like, man, be a little bit more grateful for what the Cowboys did for you. And because you didn't do anything for the Cowboys, so you haven't even made a Pro Bowl. I mean, making Pro Bowls is pretty easy, it seems like, for a star in the NFL. And you're getting paid as the 12th highest tight end. Make a Pro Bowl, do something, productive for your team. Then you can trash your old team. That's all I'm saying.
Look, I appreciate the phone call as always, my man. Look, it does come off as a bit of sour grapes, but I also feel there's truth to it in truth being his truth. Look, not everybody likes the circus, and he was drafted into it, right? Schultz doesn't seem like from what I've gathered from my time with him in Oxnard to his time in Dallas to his time in Houston, he's not trying to be out in front with the media, especially not 24/7. Everything is orchestrated for him, and he likes to kind of do things on his own. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and I could see, like he said about it causing distractions in the locker room, I could see how that could be a thing. Again, thanks for the call, Wook. Look, it does come off as sour grapes a little bit, but he was asked a question, and I believe he answered it truthfully in terms of how he feels one different team and organization is to the next one. And remember, those NFLPA grades came out. D+ on the training staff for the Cowboys, B+ for the Texans. Schultz saying he's never seen so many trainers in his life. That's been a common thread that we've heard from multiple players about the Cowboys and their training staff. And, players are taking note of that. 656 ESPN 210-656-3776 if you want to be a part of the show. Coming up next, though, we're going to hit the road, and on the way out, we're just going to go ahead and ask one question on the way out the door. Have you ever really seen somebody play their way out of the Hall of Fame? I'll explain next, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for America's #1 fantasy sports app, Prize Pick. There's over 3 million active users, and I am one of us because it is one of the easiest and most exciting ways to play daily fantasy sports because my knowledge matters. It's about more. It's about less. It's about multiplying your money up to 100 times. It is so easy to play because your knowledge matters. And as basketball season arrives, use your knowledge. players, former players, current players. You know what you're doing. Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Caitlin Clark, Kevin Durant. You know how to play. Download Prize Picks now. Use the code Alamo. You'll get up to $100 matching. It's Prize Picks, the #1 fantasy sports app going. I play because it's fun and easy. You should play because you can win. Because all you need is the knowledge to play. Download Prize Picks app. Use the code Alamo. Get your $100 match and start playing today. It is that easy. It is fun. It is Prize Picks. Download today. Thank me later.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Minimum purchase required. Interest accrues from date of purchase, but is waived if paid within promotional period. Go to windowappointmentnow.com for full offer details.
Damn. It's gotta be these old windows.
The windows are fine.
It's time to text renewal by Anderson. Otherwise, I'm cranking up the thermostat.
No, our heating bill is huge.
Exactly. We need new windows.
You think so?
Our windows are over 10 years old. They're letting out the warm air and wasting money.
You're saying we could actually save money and the house would be warmer if we replaced our old windows?
Yes. And if we text now, we can save hundreds of dollars.
I'm texting renewal by Anderson.
Text outside to 200-300 right now and schedule your free consultation with Renewal by Anderson online today. Plus, text now during the 31-day March sales event and get $377 off every window and $777 off every door when you buy 4 or more units. Text outside to 200-300 for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a full year with Renewal by Anderson. Text the word outside to 200-300. Outside to 200-300.
San Antonians love a good party, and the Valero Texas Open is one you don't want to miss. Enjoy food, drinks, and the world's best PGA Tour pros as they tee it up at TPC San Antonio. Proceeds help us continue a long-standing tradition of giving back to our community. So buy tickets on ValeroTexasOpen.com and join us April 4th through the 7th.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax.
Touchdown!
A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right now. San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. In the bullpen. Fred Robert Casares Jr. says Jerry Jones is in the business to make money, and the Dallas Cowboys are his golden goose. He's great at making money, and that's all that matters. We continue to follow and buy Cowboys merchandise, those that are Dallas Cowboys fans like myself, since the 1960s. It's true. He has made a marketing genius. And look at what Buffalo's having to do right now. They just released half of their team with Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White, Mitch Morse, Deontay Harris, Serene Neal, Micah Hyde, Leonard Floyd, Gabe Davis, Taylor Rapp, and Daquan Jones. Man, that is a lot of good players that they released. That some could be great Cowboys, some could be great Texans, some are going to be very helpful to another team. Jordan Poyer is one of those guys that is going to be an absolute steal for somebody this coming free agency. I appreciate everybody riding along with me tonight. Don't forget, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we got the Aggies as they get set to take on those Mississippi State Bulldogs. Of course, the fighting Dak Prescotts. That's coming up at the bottom of the hour here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star salutes you, Jim Rome fans.
Different cat, brilliant player.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Constant hunger to improve, the obsession with every detail, and the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by two words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule